this morning we're taking clamps off. You can see over on the wall I've used most of my clamps, and I've already put those back on the wall from over here. Anyway, yesterday I rough cut and glued up all the stock that I'm going to need for all the round stuff. So this is for the sprit boom. The yard, no, this is the boom, this is the yard, it's the mizzen mast. There's the staves I cut out for my bird's mouth for the main mast. The small piece I've got glued up right here is for the tiller arm, and I've also milled some pieces on the other side, real thin. I'm going to be planed down to about 3/16. There's 4 of them there, and they're going to make my tiller arm, or not the tiller arm off the back of the rudder, but what connects the tiller arm to my hand in the boat, so you can steer it. And normally they just hold it up high like this. And I think I'm gonna laminate a curve so it goes over the rail and I can hold it down low next to the seat as I steer. So where are we at here? Well, we've got all the cleats in for the seats. Dagger box is complete. Been a very busy few days here in the shop. The dagger box is quite a structure. I actually just laid out on one of the sides, and then I trial fitted the dagger board that I have to make sure that where the pivot hole lined up, that when it came up it wasn't going to hit anything. After I was satisfied that all that was good, I went ahead and put all the logs at the bottom, the trim pieces along the top, the front brace. There's some spacers in the center that keep the dagger board separated by 1.5 inches, and the dagger board itself, I think it's 1 3/8 inches, so you got 1/8 of an inch to play with there. Then before I mounted it on the boat, and before I actually glued all that together, I drilled the pilot hole. Then I took my rudder, it has the pilot hole drill, or the dagger board, it has the pilot hole drilled in it. I put it together, actually put a bolt through there, and I made sure that it was all going to work and look right. And I had to do a little bit of adjusting. My dagger board ended up a little fatter on that end. I think I talked about that earlier. But anyway, it all came together. It looks pretty good. Got the front brace, I got to do a little shaping yet. The cleats for the thwarts, they call them, seats. Just kind of came up with my own design there. The design that they had on the plans was more of a, just a square, not actually square, but I mean it came across and it was just chopped off on each side. And I kind of like the looks of this better. I made mine just a little thicker, a little bit more gluing surface. But all in all, it's coming along. So while I'm waiting for some lumber, I've got a few ash boards that I'm going to use. The thwarts, or seats. Thwarts is boat parlance, I guess. But anyway, the thwarts are going to be made out of walnut, and I'm going to have some decorative pieces of ash. So I have a light and dark laminated in each seat. And I may even do a few inlays or something, I'm not sure. I ain't going to get too crazy with it. And the floorboards are also going to be made out of walnut, and I might do a little detail or two in them as well. But anyway, I got to make a trip to pick up a few ash boards from the guy I bought the walnut from. And so in the meantime, while waiting on that, I went ahead and got the stuff. Went and bought 2 20-foot 2x12 Douglas fir, and it was the same thing. I was able to get a 2x12. One of them was very clear, no knots, vertical grain the whole way. I don't know how I found that board, but the second 20-foot board, I was able to get probably 7 inches wide vertical grain. Very nice lumber. And then I ended up short. I had to go back and buy a 14 footer, and that was for the yard. And I was able to find a nice 2x12 14 footer. Right now I'm going to pull all the clamps off, probably sweep the shop up, then I'm going to mark on each one the final dimension, square dimension, the maximum diameter of the mast. And then I'm going to drag the table saw out. I'm going to cut every one of them to the final square dimension, and then I'll lay out the tapers. Each one of them tapers. It's like a fair curve. It's not just a straight taper. It's more of a curve. I'm going to lay those out and mark them and saw them with the table saw. Once I get that done, I'm going to have to fabricate me a spar marking gauge, and I've done a little research on that. It's very interesting, so I'll kind of go through that with you later as I make the gauge. All for now.